Hey, let's talk about running a marathon. We find many articles, at least I keep reading about it all the time, how the number of marathoners in the different races is increasing at an exponential rate. The New York Marathon, the Rock and Roll Marathon, whichever marathon you can think of, the numbers every year are increasing. Boston has to raise the limits for the different categories for runners to get in. They have to cut more runners. I think they say that the number of runners is closed after about the first few days. So many people want to get into the Boston Marathon. So as we see this number increasing, we see more and more runners doing the marathon, which I think is phenomenal. It's great. I love it. It means more and more runners are getting involved and becoming, involved in the sport, and let's hope the sport will keep increasing and improving. But very few people are looking at what happens after they finish the marathon. And I think this is where we should focus a little bit. Look at how many runners, and maybe you're one of them, I hope you're not, but maybe you are. After you finish that first marathon, or second or third, how long did it take you to recover from the marathon? How many injuries did you sustain while you were running the marathon? Small injuries, but enough to hold you back. A major injury, you never would have finished it. But when we see runners finishing their marathon, everyone is congratulating them, you finished. So the biggest thing is you finished the marathon. Well, psychologically, I think this is great. But is that more important to what happens to your body? Look at the beating that your body took. If it's going to take you 2-3 weeks to recover, that is not a good sign. That is not healthy. And it doesn't have to be this way. But we're not preparing runners to run the marathon. You take a look at the running programs, and you pick up just about any running magazine or any coach, he'll lay out a program for you. Week 1, this is what you do. Week 2, this is what you do. Week 3, and so on, all the way up to the marathon. Well, sure, this is great in terms of how much running you should do. But where's the physical preparation to get your muscles ready to run this distance? Your muscles are not capable of doing this. They need the preparation. And it's not just general physical preparation. This is very simple if it's just general. We need more specific preparation. Yeah, and even if you just did general, that's going to go a long way. By general, I mean just developing the whole body, become more fit, physically fit. This will help you do the marathon. But if you want to be a good runner, you want to strengthen the muscles exactly the way they're used in running. You want to strengthen the running muscles specific to running. Not just general strength training. Yeah, let's do squats, let's do this, let's do that. These are all good exercises. You're going to get stronger, but it doesn't mean it's going to improve your running speed or ability to run a long distance. For example, how many of you do exercises for the hip flexors? Very few, I bet. And if you are doing them, most likely it just means raising your knee in front of you while you're in a standing position. This is not how you run. This is teaching you how to go up and down. But if you want to go forward, we have to strengthen the hip flexor muscles from behind the body, where they are after the push-off, to slightly in front of the body. This is where the muscles are actively engaged. So if you're not doing an exercise with the leg behind the body to slightly in front of the body, you're not improving your ability to run longer or faster. This is what we mean by specificity of training. You have to develop the muscles specific to the way that they are used in the running stride. I can go into many different exercises, but to suffice it to say, pick up a copy of the Explosive Running book. It has a whole chapter devoted to strength exercises that duplicate exactly what you do in running. This includes both the legs as well as the arms, and even exercises for the midsection to hold that good posture while you run. The more you strengthen these muscles, especially the strength endurance, the more capable you're going to be of running. And like I mentioned, the hip flexors. Here's another reason for it. when I analyze runners, when I film them, at the beginning of the run, I can see how they have a pretty good knee drive. Leg comes up, or thigh comes forward nicely, good push off. They have a good stride length. But at the end of the marathon, they probably had half that range of motion. The thigh is hardly coming in front. They look like the ultramarathon runner. Even worse. They're shuffling now. The leg is barely getting in front. You can see this. Maybe you're even one of them. I hope you're not. Well, what's the problem here? The problem is lack of strength endurance of the hip flexor muscles. Very simple. But once you strengthen these muscles, then you got it made. So that's the key. Work more on developing the muscles as they're involved, and then you're not going to have the soreness and problems related to the running. You're not going to suffer after that marathon. Your body's going to be healthy. You're going to be ready to go again. So after the marathon, you can go out and just do a jog. That's the best way to recover from the marathon. Half speed, nice and easy, recovery run. So physical preparation. Prepare yourself for the marathon. Don't just do the marathon and hang a shingle up on a wall and say, I did the marathon. Well, it looks good, but look at the price you have to pay. Don't pay that price. Comes a lot cheaper. Do the physical exercises.